Hi, you guys. So today I have with me problem 5.32. Before we get started on this problem, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you find my videos helpful. Okay, so a pickup truck is carrying a toolbox, but the rear gate of the truck is missing. The toolbox will slide out if it is set moving. The coefficients of kinetic friction and static friction between the box and the level bed of the truck are 0.355 and 0.650 respectively. Starting from rest, what is the shortest time this truck could accelerate uniformly to 30.0 meters per second without causing the box to slide? Draw a free body diagram of the toolbox. Okay, so I already went ahead and just drew this truck on the right because I just didn't want to waste too much time drawing it. And okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. We know that this gate is missing, and we know that depending on which direction the truck moves, the opposite direction is going to be the toolbox, the direction that the direction that the toolbox falls. Okay, so let's go ahead and just establish a coordinate system so I can better explain what I mean by that. So this is our coordinate system. So this is positive x, and this is up is positive y. So if we are moving this truck in the positive x direction, right, that means that this toolbox can slide out this way, right? Okay. So let's actually go ahead and draw a force body diagram first, so we can just talk about all the different types of forces that are acting on this toolbox. So of course, we know that we have force of gravity, right? When we have force of gravity, then and when an object is in contact, sorry, not when we have force of gravity and an object is in contact, but when an object is in contact with a surface, right? That's the perpendicular direction from that surface is the normal force, right? So what that means is that this is the surface and that's where this box is touching. So perpendicular to this is the normal force. So this is the normal force. Okay. And what is the direction of friction? So first we have to establish which type of friction, because we have kinetic friction and we have static friction. And the main difference between these two is that static friction occurs when an object is not moving, and kinetic friction occurs when the object is moving, right? So the difference is that static friction is always going to be a larger coefficient because it takes much more effort to get an object to start moving than it is when an object is already moving. There's less friction. This is just like a fact of nature. There's going to be less friction working against it. Okay, so if we said that the toolbox can fall out this way, that means that the opposing force is the force of friction, right? Because if something is supposed to move this way, then friction is going to stop it by I guess, not moving, but by being the force that's in the opposite direction. So we know that this is going to be the force of friction and the force of static friction. So I'm just going to go ahead and write S here because that's static friction, right? That makes sense. Okay. Also, we know that, this is the back of the truck, right? So this is the back, which means that this is the front of the truck, and that means that the truck is accelerating this way, right? Okay. So let's write down our knowns, and then we can talk about why that's important. So our knowns are, we have the coefficient of static friction, which is 0.650. We have the coefficient of kinetic friction, which is 0.355. We are starting from rest. VI is equal to 0 meters per second. What is the shortest time? So what we're looking for is time. Could accelerate uniformly, right? So we have some sort of acceleration. We don't know what it is, but it's uniform. And the final speed is 30.0 meters per second. Okay. So because we don't want the box to slide, as we already established, there's going to be force of static friction. And if we are looking for this value right over here, what we have to do is we have to use our kinematic equations, right? So we have to use a kinematic equation that has four different values, sorry, that has three knowns and one unknown. And the one that, so we have to look at our knowns and see what values we have and what values are missing so that we can choose the appropriate equation. And the appropriate equation here, as you can see, is VF is equal to VI plus AT. And if we're looking for T, we just have to isolate for T, which is VF minus VI over A. So we have VF, we have VI, but we don't have A, right? We know it's uniform, but we don't have A. And how do we get acceleration? Okay, well, we know that acceleration is related to force, right? And we have force of kinetic friction, so that's going to tie in somehow all together. But let's actually write down how that ties all together. Okay, so again, we have our force body diagram right over here. And we established that upwards in the positive y, we have our normal force. In the negative y, we have force of gravity, right over here. And opposing this, if the toolbox is to fall out this way, then we have force of static friction, which is this way. Okay, so let's solve for acceleration. And how do we do that? Well, let's look at all the forces that are acting on this. So we know that the force that is on this toolbox, so the force in the x direction, that's just mass times acceleration, right? But acceleration of what? We don't know. All we know is that it's going to be the acceleration of the truck, right? Because if the truck is accelerating, right, and the box is at rest on the truck, then the box is only experiencing acceleration due to the acceleration of the truck, right? Okay. Well, in the same direction, we've also established that the force of static friction, that there's this force of static friction. So force of static friction is equal to mu s times normal force. And in this case, normal force and force of gravity are actually equal to each other, right? So Fn is equal to Fg. And Fg is equal to mg. Okay, so force of static friction is equal to mu s times mg. Okay, so mu s times mg. And this is the force of static friction. And we also know that acceleration is this way, and that any force that the object is experiencing is acceleration due to the truck. So that means that these two are equal to each other, right? So the summation of forces in the x direction, right? This makes a little bit more intuitive sense. The summation of forces in the x direction is equal to the force of static friction. And static friction, we said, is mu s times mg, and that is equal to the summation of forces. Sorry, I actually flipped it, and I'm going to rewrite it. So we said that mass times acceleration, right, is equal to mu s times mg, right? So any force that is occurring in the x direction is due to the force of static friction. That makes sense. Okay. So the mass cancels out with each other, right? So here in this question, we weren't even given mass because we don't even need it. And that's why it's really important to do analytical, not analytical, but solve using all the variables first and then to solve and then to plug in your values at the end, because like you can see, we don't have mass and we also don't need it in this question because mass cancels out in our force equation. Okay, so that means acceleration, right, is equal to mu s times g. And we can actually plug in our value now for acceleration because we're given values here. We're given 0, we're given 30.0, and if we have our value for acceleration, then we can solve for t. So acceleration is equal to mu s times g, which is 0.655 times 9.8. And I didn't put in our, I didn't plug in, or I should actually. I didn't write down our units, but 0.655. So coefficients of friction will never have any units because it's just a coefficient, right? So no units. And that's why I wanted to write units this time, even though I usually don't. But here we do. Gravity is an acceleration, right? So that's going to have units meters per second squared. Okay, so let's solve that. Let's plug that into our calculator. And what I'm getting is 9.8 times 0.65. So just double checking, but yes, I'm getting that the acceleration is 6.37 meters per second squared, right? And the reason I'm not really putting the vector on top of here is just because we have magnitude of acceleration right now. But yeah, if I say to the right, then I can put this like symbol on it. Okay, so that's our acceleration. Now we can take this magnitude and we can actually plug it in to this equation. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just plug in the values over here in blue. So it's a little bit more clear. But VF we said was 30.0 minus VI, which is 0, and then over acceleration, which is 6.37. So when I plug this into my calculator, the value that I'm getting is 4.71 seconds, right? Seconds because meters per second squared, and this is meters per second, and this is meters per second. Yeah. So yeah, this is not a 5, this is seconds. So 4.71 seconds. Okay, so that's our solution for this problem. Remember that, yeah, remember that the reason why, one thing I should have pointed out actually earlier, is that this is actually like the maximum scenario, right? So this is maximum, but really your force of static friction could be less than that, right? So if we see that, okay, so whatever your force of static friction is, we don't have a mass, so I can't really like show you an example, but like, for example, if force of static friction is equal to, I don't know, like 1 Newton, okay, that's a lot, but let's just assume 1 Newton. That means that if the force of static friction could be 0.1, it could be 0.2, it could be 0.3, but once it breaks 1 Newton, once it gets, beyond 1 Newton, then then it's kinetic friction, right? So we don't have static friction anymore. And that's because static friction, you might have seen this sort of graph where it sort of looks like this. And give me like 1 second. I just want to pull it up so that I don't like draw the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, so perfect. I pulled out the image. So it can start from 0, right? So, it can be 0 and then it works up. And then this point, this maximum is like the maximum static friction, which in this case is like mu s times normal force, right? And then it goes down, and this is kinetic. This is kinetic, the coefficient of kinetic friction, and this would be if this is force, then this would be force of kinetic friction, which would be mu k times n, right? And sorry, I just noticed that I wrote Fn here, but I wrote n here, but I hope that's okay. Ultimately, okay, so that's my little spiel over about force of friction, kinetic friction versus static friction. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always reach me in my comments. You can always reach out to me on Instagram or even by email, and I'm always happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and see you next time.